This is a Sports Radio Live podcast covering your world of sports. Bryan Houston's Sports Radio Live. It's weekdays at 3 on 99.3 Talk FM, the talk of East Texas.
Why would you segue in there? Come on now.
It's just a joke. We got the NCAA tournament going on right now, so bracketology has been on everybody's minds. And if you can't fill out the NCAA bracket intelligently, there are other brackets available for any number of things. And my friend from the Tyler Morning Telegraph, the food editor there, is on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete and chef, apecgo.com. And joining us right now is Christine Gardner. How you doing, Christine?
Hey, Brian. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Now, we need to explain, first of all, that when we bring Christine on, Christine's not just a food expert, aficionado. Christine Gardner is also quite the sports expert. Tell people what you did before you decided to become a foodie.
Yes, actually, in my former career, I was a producer for Fox Sports and worked for them for 15 years, working a lot of games with the Houston Astros, the Rockets, the Broncos. I was in Denver and Houston for many years with several of those teams.
So it was a perfect segue into going to making soufflés, right?
Yeah. There's so much in common with the Broncos and a souffle.
I love it. So what made you make the transition, though, seriously, from sports producing to food?
Well, my background is in journalism, and I originally went to Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. And when I felt like I was kind of burning out a little bit on sports, even though, I'll always love it, and thought I needed a little bit of a career change, and had always loved cooking, so I went to culinary school and got a degree in culinary arts.
Wow.
And now I'm enjoying a second career in food.
Man, okay. So I have you on my Facebook page, and I saw that you found, instead, for those folks who are not into March Madness as far as basketball is concerned, you found another type of bracket to fill out.
Yes, I found a Southern food bracket.
Ooh.
So, and that can probably create as much discussion as the college basketball bracket.
This could turn into a fist fight.
Yes, it really could. There's a lot of very strong opinions about the foods that people like.
Well, I was looking at this thing. This is from, what I love about it the most, it's from Garden and Gun.
I know.
And I just was watching the other night that we were seeing a replay of Notting Hill, where the guy was from the Horse and Hound magazine. So it just immediately came to mind there. But all right, so I'm not going to make you go through this entire bracket, and I had some of the guys here at the station fill out one too. But the first thing I got to tell you is that whoever did the seating in this needs to be fired.
Yeah, there's some pretty tough choices. They've broken it down into 4 different regions, and it's Southern Classics, Cajun Creole, Low Country, and Barbecue.
Wow.
So you have your 4 regions like you normally would on a bracket, and it narrows it down from 64 different foods all the way down to 1.
Well, here, my gripe about it is I'm looking at this thing, and if you look at it left to right, the very first matchup, this looks like a Final Four matchup, pulled pork against fried okra.
Well, that was an easy choice for me, but
really?
I was talking to some other people, and there were some really strong opinions on that one.
Listen, that's tough, man. These are 2 of my favorites right off the bat going at it against each other. And I cried because I thought, man, at least get them into the Sweet 16 or something,
Yeah, and then on the other side, peach cobbler versus country ham and biscuits.
Oh, that's just wrong. Well, it was even worse is country fried steak against pecan pie.
Yeah, those are 2 classics right there. That could be a whole Southern meal.
That's just hardcore. And then there's some matchups here that, I like, for instance, shrimp and grits and she crab soup. Can I just pass on both and move on or and I know a lot of, I'll tell you what, explain to me what the heck Frogmore stew is.
Well, actually, Frogmore stew is a lot like a crawfish boil.
Ooh.
But it's with shrimp and the potatoes and the corn and the spices are all thrown in. The Brunswick stew is more of your meat stew. So
okay.
you're choosing between seafood or beef there.
Wow, that sounds pretty good. I'd never heard of Frogmore stew in my life, and I've lived in the South my whole life.
Yeah, I wasn't real familiar with it either, but evidently it's real popular in around North and South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains everything.
Yeah.
They think barbecue is something where you just slather it full of sauce too.
And put it in a crock pot.
Right. Exactly. See, you've been there. I lived in Tennessee for a while, so I know all about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are some real strange matchups like Hoppin' John against boiled peanuts.
Yeah,
I mean, boy, now there's a dish that's going to take a lot of work. Boiled peanuts.
Actually, with those two, I wasn't interested in really picking either one. But I know I spent some time in Georgia, living in Atlanta, and there were a lot of people who love their boiled peanuts.
Oh, I'm sure, but I was thinking, man, if this is, I'm looking here on this sheet, and there's no chicken and dumplings anywhere, but there's boiled peanuts.
Yeah, I was surprised there's no chicken and dumplings.
Wow, boy, okay. And then tell me exactly what barbecue hash is.
That one I wasn't too sure about either, and I don't know why. I think they're calling that, that's one of the barbecue choices.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're saying that that's just shredded brisket. Maybe?
I don't know. I'm going to have to look that one up.
Or maybe somebody who's listening might know, and they can enlighten us.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Look who they're going against.
Yeah. but I mean, it's up against banana pudding. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Of course you're going to take banana
anyway.
pudding.
I'm thinking the gamblers got in on this one. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you just kind of go to your semifinal round, the March 26th, 27th, and tell me what you've got for your final. I guess this is going to be final 8.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is where it starts to get tough.
This is where the fist fights break out.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay.
It's pulled pork or brisket.
Ooh, okay.
Which I can't decide. The Texas girl wants to say brisket, but my grandparents were from Memphis.
Yeah.
And we always went out for ribs there, and it was pork ribs and pork barbecue. So I'm fighting within myself over that one.
Okay.
And then I did kind of go more on the seafood side here. I've got she crab soup against Frogmore stew.
Yeah, I'm liking the sound of that Frogmore stew more all the time. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, on the other side.
On the other side, I have deviled eggs against pecan pie.
Okay.
And that was hard to get to also, because cobbler or pecan pie and then pimento cheese and deviled eggs, I mean, I don't know.
I think I just left that one blank, actually.
But most people, I think a lot of people would have fried chicken coming out.
Yeah,
yes.
Fried chicken made my final 8. There's no question.
Yeah.
That was easy there. So okay, and then down at the Cajun Creole semifinals.
Now this is where your opinions are going to be very strong,
Boy.
I'm sure. I have beignets versus crawfish.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that's fair. I mean, I had catfish against crawfish, but I was really fighting between the catfish and the oyster po' boy.
Yeah, I was big on the oyster po' boy too.
That sounds really good. Okay. I'm just going to throw out Chuck. Who did you have in your? Go ahead. Tell me what your final 4 is, and then who you had winning.
My final 4 is pulled pork and she crab, pecan pie, and crawfish, and pulled pork wins it.
Pulled pork, the champion.
Yes.
That's Christine Gardner, again, who's with the Title Morning Telegraph, foodie there. Okay, so, Chuck, I want to hear what your final 4 is.
Okay, my final 4 was fried chicken, catfish, brisket, and Hoppin' John.
All right, okay.
I just like the name.
It's good. It's good that you had some.
And then when Bryan explained what it was, I really liked it.
Well,
New Year's Eve soup.
It's good that it wasn't all meat. Okay.
Well,
you got to have a little balance there. All right, Craig Smoke, who never eats anything, but go ahead.
Pulled pork, fried oysters, gumbo, and fried chicken.
Okay, and who won?
Overall?
Yeah.
Gumbo.
Okay, and what about you?
I had brisket winning overall.
Brisket won overall. Now, I went to the two ladies in accounting and traffic. Okay, we had Mandy and Shelley, and I'll just tell you that their finals. One of them had brisket against fried green tomatoes, and Shelley picked fried green tomatoes, okay? And then the other one Mandy had cornbread and fried green tomatoes, and again, fried green tomatoes, the overwhelming winner amongst the females.
Wow, that's a surprise.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true Texas Southern there.
I had cornbread in my Elite Eight, but going up against pulled pork is tough.
See, I'm going with the meat. But these folks, I mean, my wife would have probably chosen fried green tomatoes.
My mom probably would have.
Loves it. So you surprised by that?
Yeah, I am surprised.
Okay, so now you got to find like 9 different recipes for fried green tomatoes to put in the paper now.
We're going to have to do some fried green tomatoes next week in the section, maybe.
Okay, now here's my final 4. Okay, I'll just give you my final 4. Pecan pie against the crawfish boil, which is just cruel to do this to me.
Yes.
That's just brutal. And then you're going to laugh at me, but the Frogmore stew against fried okra. Shut up.
Oh, wow.
I love fried okra, okay? I mean, I love fried okra.
You brought fried okra out over mac and cheese and cornbread and brisket?
And I love, believe me, I love collard greens. I love the brisket. I mean, I love the banana pudding. Yeah, it's just, I mean, but that's how much I like fried okra.
Wow.
I'm going to start calling you Okra Winfrey.
Yeah. Good Lord.
That's some serious love there.
Now, here's what's going to really make, this is how much I like fried okra. In my finals, fried okra against pecan pie.
You picked pecan pie over crawfish.
I did.
The Louisiana
listen,
boy.
I'm telling you, it was brutal. I mean, I cried after I had to make this pick, okay? and then, to finish it off, I chose the pecan pie. Okay.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what that says about me, but that's where I am on this.
Says you're nuts.
Now, if chicken and dumplings had been in there, chicken and dumplings would have been in my championship game.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just telling you. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So as you have, I guess, had people sample this poll, has it been a pretty wide difference of opinion as to what the winning food ought to be, or has it been pretty much a consensus thing?
No, there's been quite a few different opinions. I mean, I even had somebody, it came down between mac and cheese and peach cobbler.
Wow.
So,
and I'm just not getting the mac and cheese being that big a deal. But I know it's heresy. I know.
Yeah, I mean,
don't kill me.
That bracket right there with the pulled pork, mac and cheese, collard greens, and fried okra and brisket. I mean,
man,
you can't. How do you decide on any of those?
That's Thanksgiving dinner there, man. It's really Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, and so are you running any kind of contest with this, or is this just like for our own amusement?
Well, if people want to go to my Facebook page, it's Christine Gardner, Tyler Paper Food.
Okay.
And the bracket is on the page, and if you want to fill it out and then make a comment about what your winning thing was, we'll maybe get something going.
Okay, outstanding. And again, the food section of the Tyler Morning Telegraph, the last time I had anything to do with it was still on Wednesdays. Is that correct?
Yes, it is still on Wednesdays.
Man, it's nice to see some things don't change. And by the way, now, did you fill out a basketball bracket?
I did fill out a basketball bracket.
You did? Okay, so you did this since we talked then, or since we exchanged messages, I guess.
Yeah, you made me feel a little guilty, and this former sports girl in me, I was feeling bad. It's the first year I had thought, I'm not going to fill out a bracket this year, and I thought, I just got to do it. It's tradition.
So who did you pick in your Final Four?
Well, I have some things that most people might not agree with, but I have Michigan State.
That's a strong pick.
And Baylor.
Okay. Homer.
Sick 'em.
Coming from an Aggie, yeah.
Yeah, that had to hurt a lot. That's almost like choosing mac and cheese over, fried okra.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought, I'd favor the state.
Very good. Okay.
It's sort of like rooting for Texas versus, when they're in there. Well, if we can't be there, it's good somebody else is.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And then Syracuse and Georgetown.
Okay, so you went with pretty high seeds all the way around, though.
Well, I have a few upsets coming close,
right,
but not all the way.
Okay,
yeah.
and then who's in your championship game?
Michigan State and Syracuse, and Michigan State going all the way.
See, I like Michigan State. I don't have them in my championship game, but it wouldn't bother me at all if they win it. I like Izzo, and I like their style of play a lot. But very, very interesting. Okay, so and the other question is, because you've turned from sports into a foodie, I mean, what does this mean? Does this mean when you have like this kitchen island with like 5 TVs all around you, and you're watching games while you're cutting stuff up, or what?
I do. I always have sports on in the background when I'm cooking.
I like this. Has that ever screwed your recipe up?
No, it's just sort of, a lot of times on Sunday afternoons, when you get to that time of year where there's not much to watch, I'd even have golf on in the background.
Oh, even. I love it. Hey, Christine, it was great having you on. That's a lot of fun. That's a good thing there. If you can't talk sports, talk food. That's what I always say.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent stuff. They do a great job in the paper, too, and we really do appreciate you coming on the show today.
Well, thanks so much. I'll have to bring you over a pecan pie.
Oh, man. Is that all it took? Okay, good enough.
Yeah, my mother makes a great one, so it's a good recipe.
Well, I love your mother. I can tell already. I know that for a fact. Hey, listen, thanks again for coming on. We really do appreciate it. Good talking to you.
All right. Thanks, Bryan.
All right. Christine Gardner, the food editor from the Title Morning Telegraph. Brisket, national champs, according to Christine Gardner. She's the food expert. Who am I to argue? Although I'm taking my pecan pie.
The mac and cheese, the creamy goodness of mac and cheese was driving me insane.
Not if Gumbo has anything to say about it.
It's a fist fight.
That's
I can
right.
see it right
Food
now,
fight.
Take the separate corners, boys. We're about to ring the bell. All right, we're going to take a time out. We'll come back. We'll continue Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.
Boycotting the media. I'm Bill O'Reilly. The Talking Points memo is next.
Hey, sweetheart, it's Mom. I haven't heard from you in a few days, and I'm starting to get worried, so would you just give me a call back or send me a text? At least let me know you're all right.
ABC Tonight. Whoever took her son...
I will find him, and he knows I will never give up.
...is about to discover vengeance is a mother.
We're not having CIA personnel running their own agenda.
I am not CIA. I am a mother looking for her son.
This is a Sports Radio Live podcast covering your world of sports. Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live. It's weekdays at 3 on 99.3 Talk FM, the talk of East Texas.